dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Like 2 tortas and a ranfla that's flat on 4 tires with some snack habits. Buy up, buy up, buy up. Tortas in that drop. Orale, you already know what it is, man. In a menudo style in direct fashion, you guys see the thumbnail. So we're going to talk about a serious thing. But before we do, let's get into hitting that like and subscribe button. Please address those notification bells. Push them to all so that way you're abreast of all the dope content I'm bringing all week long. And we're going to continue the trend, man. Thank you. And I appreciate all the enlightenment. I appreciate all the education that I'm getting from people, all the questions, all the answers, all the subtle hints, all the subliminals, everything that I'm getting, man. But what I appreciate more is the support. Thank you guys so much for rocking with your boy, the Gunga. Now, you see the thumbnail and you say to yourself, who are these 3 babosos? Well, just that. 3 individuals that had their fools mixed up, right? Wrong target. It happens. It's happened over a due course of time. It's happened, and it seems like it's a trend now. It seems like people hit the wrong people in the midst of gangbanging or doing what they're doing, and later on, oh, Sasuke, I didn't mean to, It was an accident. Yeah, well, accidents can be your downfall. And in this situation, these 3 individuals chose to go out there hunting, chose to go out there doing bad things, get involved in mischief, get involved in crime. And ultimately, what happened? Well, the end result was a young 5-year-old girl being murdered, being killed, right? It's never a good look. It's always a bad situation. It's going to be a bad situation their whole career. And I'm going to tell you why. Because nobody appreciates someone who does harm to children. It just ain't going to happen. It's never going to be condoned. You know, we're going to give people the benefit of the doubt because if it's an ongoing case, man, you know, you are innocent until proven guilty, but a lot of people are going to judge, and that's just the way it is. You will be tried, judged, and convicted, or you won't. You know, but the word judged is a heavy word and it weighs heavy on the heart because a lot of people judge a lot of people just based on what he said, she said, or what they believe or what they truly think without really knowing the specifics of the investigation, the details of the case. But I'm here to tell you it's ugly. Now, these 3 guys, man, happen to be allegedly from a gang called the Fremont Sureño gang, right? A gang up north, upstaters, right? You know, the flag was planted a long time ago. For those of you that don't know, there are a gang of Sureños in Northern California. Upstaters. Vatos that consider themselves separate, different. They've established Sureño gangs, hubs, little spots, planted their flags everywhere that they've went. And they're pretty deep in cities like Richmond, you know, Atwater. There's a lot of them in San Jose now. Of course, you had, you know, every city in the meantime, in between time, there's going to be upstate Sureños. That's just a fact of life. That's something that anyone that lives up north is going to have to deal with. And that means more crime, more gang banging, more issues, more red on blue, blue on red. And believe me, I hate when a lot of people sit there and say, oh, they're paisas and they're not fucking putting in work and they're hiding and you don't see them in the daytime. And the same can be said about the other side. You know, nowadays in this era that we live in, a lot of people ain't into the gangbanging. A lot of people are into the money. They're into getting that bag. But there are those who still believe in their causes. There are those that are still trying to eradicate the other group, that are still out there hunting, that are still out there curious about, you know, what the other barrio is doing, what the other hood is doing. So they're out there looking and searching. And in the midst of looking, man, shots could ring out. Things could happen. I've been involved in things where shots rang out, man. And of course, you know, in hindsight, looking back, it's like, wow, what were we doing? You know, we were taking life for granted, our own lives and lives of others. We weren't thinking about the outcome or what could have been. You know, and when you find yourself in that situation, not a lot of people have. But let me tell you the truth. When you're really in a situation where you have to pull that trigger and you know, man, someone's going to die. You know it could be you or them. Not many people can. You know, you have to be cut from a different cloth. You know, once you leave, the cloth might go with you. Not a lot of people could do that. I'm not going to sit here and say I was fucking all in like that. But I will say there's a lot of people that won't. Now, a long time ago in the late 90s or in the mid 90s, you know, there was a dictation that went out saying there will be no more drive-by shootings. And that came from all different group organizations. And that was one of the greatest reglas that was put out there, I believe. And, you know, drive-bys were a cowardice act. It was something that people were doing because they were scared to jump up off the car and handle their business, look you in the máscara and make you feel your pain. Instead, they would drive by, do their little shootings, wiggle, get away with it, and go laugh and tell their camaradas or their homeboys exactly what they'd done. And eventually someone would point the finger out at them and they'd get caught up anyways. I don't know why they drive by. They should have just fucking parked and handled their business because they were going to get told on anyways. It's just what happened. But eventually over time, because so many innocent victims, so many children, so many old people, so many civilians who should be off limits were getting hit and considered casualties of war, eventually over time, what happened is the people who needed to put it out there saying, hey, we're done with this. This is just bringing negative attention from the feds, negative attention from the people we don't want. And it makes no sense. You know, it's a cowardice move. If you're going to be a gang member, you got to carry yourself with pride and respect, homes and dignity. And even in what you're doing, even if it's crime, even if it's bad stuff, man, you do that shit with pura, right? You go out there and you handle your business like a real man. And that's just the way, that's what I was taught. And I'm sure that's what other people are taught. You know, there is no room for a cowardice act. There is no room for bullshit. Let's just be cut and dry. Now, these three individuals, allegedly from Fremont, were out there hunting. They had got caught up in a few crimes earlier, man, and so they were on the run. And let me tell you something about being on the run, because I've been on the run plenty of times. When you're on the run and you know you're facing some hard time, or you know you got some time, you're going to sit down for a duration or for a minute, your whole mindset changes. You either have two different mindsets. One, you don't want to get caught. You're going to go to Mexico. You're gone, homes. You're going to try to stay out the way as long as you can. You know, eventually you're going to have to go do your time, or you could outwait the statute of limitations depending upon the crime. But most people are trying to get away, homes. Fuck, I done messed up. I'm on the front page of the newspaper. Damn, I got to go away. Help me. That's it. Give me a ride. Right? And people are trying to get the fuck on. But there are those who lose their mind. There are those that are like, you know what? If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out, homes, not on my knees. I'm going to go out standing, homes. I'm going to let everybody have it. I'm going to take as many people as I can with me. And it seems like this might have been the mentality of these individuals. Either that or they just didn't care. Okay? When you're caught up in the gang life and you're gangbanging, you're really out there in the mix, you don't care, man. You don't care about the repercussions. You're not thinking about later. You're thinking about what's greater. And what's greater to you is that respect you're going to get from your homeboys. Hey, high five. Give me a low five. Let's get and a wiggle. You know what I mean? You did that, Holmes. Guard. Now, that ain't cool. These guys went hunting. And, you know, they were in the Milpitas area. For those of you that don't know, that's in the San Jose area on a freeway. And they thought they caught a target lacking. You know, ain't that the case? Hey, fool, that's that fucking black Sebring right there. Get that puto, right? You think because you recognize a car or maybe the Vato had a 49er banner hanging, oh, he must be a Norteño, you know what I mean? Because these guys were of the Southern fashion. They decided that if for no other reason, to start letting shots ring out. Now, that's, of course, discharging a firearm into an occupied vehicle because it was a man, his woman, and his child. You know, I'm sure they didn't see the kid in the backseat. I'm sure they weren't trying to hit a child, you know. These guys don't strike me as the type of individuals that were preying on the weak or looking for a kid. They look like they were just gangbanging. Your average youngster out there doing what he was taught, doing what he thinks is right, doing what he is laced up to do, which is eradicate the other side, get rid of them. Period. That's part of gangbanging, man. You know, you can always get caught up, and we're going to get into that in a minute because I've been seeing some shit on YouTube. It's funny, right? Real funny style. But anyways, so these guys allegedly, right, let shots ring out on this vehicle because they thought it was an adversary, and he could have been. You know, I don't know the guy's whole repertoire. I don't know the guy's whole resume of who exactly they were shooting at. But obviously, man, they felt some type of way. They thought that they were going to engage with this guy who they thought was from the other side, who they thought was a Norteño, and they started to let loose. And in the midst of doing this, man, a young child was hit, a 5-year-old little girl. And these guys got caught. You know, that's what happens. You know, these guys get caught, whether, you know, they got pulled over, they got snatched up, and now they're considered kid killers. Now they're considered it's a whole different element. What started out as gangbanging, righteousness for your hood or your barrio and putting on for your people and letting them other fools have it and you know, gangbanging at its finest has now turned into something different. You know, now it's turned out to you're no longer in the great standings. You're no longer considered a good camarada or a righteous homeboy. You're no longer able to function on a general population yard because you killed a child. Whether it be by accident or by intention, you did that. Just like with them vatos out of the Goshen area, man, you know, with the baby that got killed and the 16-year-old girl, man, hey, enough is enough. If it happens, now that right there was done allegedly, intentionally, that right there, The guy could have prevented that, but decided to go that route. You know, maybe he had that same mind state, that on the run mind state, that fucking anyone can get it. You know, I hear a lot of people say that anybody can get it. Well, when you say anybody, you mean anybody. You mean man, woman, and child, Holmes. And that's not a right way of thinking. That's a cowardice way of thinking, because not anybody can get it, man. You have to defend yourself. You have to be at a fucking half 60. You have to prevent anyone from coming at you. I understand. But to go out there and seek that and destroy, that's not a good look. That never has been in gangbanging, and I'm going to tell you, and I don't think that ever will be. I don't think killing a kid or accidentally or intentionally is ever going to be condoned. It just is what it is. You fucked up, Holmes. Straight up. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen with these three individuals. If they are convicted, tried, if it comes to pass that they actually, you know, just messed up, man. You know, it just was a bad situation. You know, they're not going to get a pass, Holmes. There's not going to be clearance on that. Because it doesn't matter if you didn't see a kid. It doesn't matter if the vato was shooting at you first. None of that matters. The thing is, you hit a kid in the midst of a crime. The fucking state, the people, they're going to try you. They're going to convict you. They're going to give you all day, every day, depending upon your record or how they feel. If they hit you with the murder one or whatever. But even shooting, to me, shooting into an occupied vehicle, man, unless you pull up, park, and let them have it, okay, that could be condoned. But when you're driving and you're chasing people and you're doing a shootout, Holmes, you're taking a chance of hitting innocent civilians. And in this case, a little girl was hit. See, people are not doing their due diligence. They're not doing their homework. They're not paying attention to exactly what's going on. There's a time and a place for everything. And if you're a real gang member and a real gangbanger and you really have pride and you're about that, Holmes, then you'll do the walk up. You won't do the drive up. You might pull up, park, get up, and pop. And that's what it is. Kobe, you're not going to fucking shoot at a moving vehicle and, hey, there's a woman, I don't care. Anybody can get it. I'm with the hood. What the woo show, right? That's, to me, Holmes, I always thought, you know, even with my homeboys, when I was back in my days when I was in the mix, I always thought that was bullshit. I always thought that was, you know, I used to tell the homeboy, don't engage with no one, Holmes. If you want a mean mug, if they let loose, then of course we let loose. But, you know, to just pull up and just start shooting, man, we don't know what's going on here. We don't know who's going to get hit at Carl's Jr. eating a double bacon cheeseburger, you know what I mean, and some famous fries. We don't know. So the best thing to do to avoid the bullshit and avoid the ending of your career, because that's what means the most to a real gang member. See, let me explain something to you what means the most to gente. When you're in the mix, your career, when I say career, Holmes, that means your standings, whether you're in good standings or bad standings. See, I'm in bad standings. I'm going to keep it real. I'm not in the great standings because I chose to fall back, because I did something that I knew was going to put me in a precarious situation, man. I got off where I was mad at. And that right there, just doing that, you know, was against the grain, was against my gente, my own people. Did I turn my back on them? Nah, I just secured myself. And in doing so, I was in the wrong. And I understand that. And I got to live with that my whole life. Was I ready to drop out or stop gangbanging or go to the other side? Absolutely not. I was not ready. I was a little disenfranchised with the situation, but I was not ready. But it is what it is, and I've moved on in my life. And I say that to say this. I'm sure these individuals were in the midst of their career. The highlight of their career, of course, was shooting into this vehicle. Did they think they were going to hit a child? I don't think so. Of course not. Nobody, not any smart, sane person goes out there with the intentions to do that. But of course, this little girl's gone, man. And now her family has to suffer with that. And to come to find out that the dad and the mother and the people involved were not even in the gangs. They were not even involved in that. Maybe the vato was bald and had that look. Maybe he had a couple tattoos. Hey, that's how it is in the Bay Area in Northern California. Motherfuckers have tattoos and they're bald. That's just, everyone looks the part, but not everyone is. So before you go judging people and be thinking that someone is what they ain't, man, you have to do your homework. Now, I understand, and people are going to say, they're always got to be a naysayer. Someone's going to slide in and say, hey, homie, the vato shouldn't have been he shouldn't have looked like that. His car shouldn't have been red, or he shouldn't fucking had this hanging or whatever, you know, and he wouldn't have got that. He had that coming. Now, nobody has that coming. Not even a gang member has that coming. You know, there's rules and regulations to everything. Hoods, bodies, turf, all that. And rules are set in place because that's the way that they want it, man. And that's the way it should be. I figure if you follow the rules and regulations, you can't go wrong, homeboy. You know, accidents happen. And in this case, I believe it was an accident. Now, these guys are not going to be no good, man. If they just happen to wiggle by and, you know, I'm pretty sure someone's going to be like, no, he did it. No, he did it. No, she did it. No, she's a she. I mean, look at the hair. You know, I'm sure someone's going to talk that shit or say too much. I can only hope that these guys are able to live with the repercussions for their actions, because they won't be able to go to the general population yard and wiggle, because everyone's going to trip, especially their own gente, because you will be dealt with by your own gente. It's just the way it is. Now, I wanted to talk about something else. Them vatos are gone. Just cancel them, cancel Christmas for the next 25 to 30 years. A child was involved. If convicted, if it comes to find out and comes to pass that they did, it doesn't matter if the shooter's going to get more time or the person that was ducking down and the vato that was driving. Hey, when you do a crime like that, unless someone tells and testifies against his homeboys, his camaradas, you're involved. It doesn't matter, Holmes. Someone died in the course of a crime, and you're just as guilty as the man who pulled the trigger. I know. You're saying, damn, gun, that's fucked up. It just is what it is. That's part of life. That's part of California, homie. That's the rules and regulations there. That's the law. You know, if you pull up to a 7-Eleven and your homeboy's like, yeah, I'm going to get a Slurpee. What do you want? So give me a payday, the chocolate one. So I don't like black waffles. I'm just saying, right? And he gets off and he goes into fucking 7-Eleven to get a nachos, a payday, and a Slurpee, Holmes. And he kills the fucking up in that motherfucker and comes out. And you wiggle off and get pulled over. Well, guess what, Holmes? You're going for that one too. You know, if you just start telling, that's on you. I'm just saying, so maybe that Slurpee didn't taste too good. Maybe it was flat. I'm just saying, you will be charged. Even though you didn't know. You know what I mean? You were part of a commission of a crime. Spencer, Holmes, you drove away. So them guys are done, man. You know, they're not going to go walk a mainline yard, be cool, and, you know, because vatos are going to hit them up for their papeles, for their paperwork. P-Dub, hey, homie, what are you in here for? Hey, aren't you one of them vatos fucking that was on the news for killing that little girl? Says, they're going to hit them with some karate, right? It's going to be all bad for them. Some Dragonfly Jones, because vatos ain't playing about that. You will not hurt a child, man, and think that you're going to walk the main line. Don't matter how high-powered you were or what you were involved in, man. You fucked up, homie. No excuses. There's no justification for a mistake, but it was an accident, homie. Yeah, well, guess what, homie? You know, I've seen a lot of people get hit by a car on accident. They still walk al chueco. It's just what that is. Okay, there's another individual that I've been seeing on YouTube lately. He's popping up in my short feeds. And this vato's fucking from, allegedly, I'm not even going to put it on because, hey, shout out, respects to the city of Richmond, the Sureños, the Norteños, Richmond Barrio Locals, RST, all that, homes. I got nothing but respect for the city of Richmond. Richmond's hard, homes. You know what I mean? Anyone that's from the Bay Area or has been out there knows that Richmond rolls, right? Richmond will put their motherfucking foot down. They'll put the foot on your neck and compress. It's just what Richmond's always been about. The city of Richmond is well known. But this vato allegedly is out there saying he's a southerner or an upstater from Richmond. And he's cruising around, never getting off the car really, but cruising. I seen him one time, he had a baseball bat and chanclas on, some old throwback filas you get at the Segunda. I was like, damn, the struggle's real, right? Those toenails were twisted. You don't cruise around, oh, I'm looking for the adversary. Look, and he's trying, I guess his whole shtick or his whole character that he's portraying on this YouTube shit is to cruise through neighborhoods, man, to show that vatos ain't out there. They're not out there at Sunday at 6 in the morning. They're at church, ain't, or at work, or they just boned your old lady, ain't. They're not going to be out there. You know, I think it's very tiresome to repeat and talk about situations that are coward moves. You know, these cats that think that it's cool, you know, he must be young kid that's not laced up in the game, obviously, to go. And he comes from a fucking, supposedly, allegedly, a righteous vato. I'm saying his vato is righteous. Allegedly, he's from there. I doubt it, but the vatos cruising around talking about, hey, I'm going to catch busters. I'm going to catch chaps. I'm going to catch these vatos slipping, but ain't nobody out here. Well, there's ways and ways to wiggle and do things, you know, but to show everyone, to tell on yourself, to alert the authorities, to basically, look what I'm doing. Look, I got a bat, homie. I'm going to hit some. They're not coming with bats, homie. That bat shit went out in 91, 92, before my time. The people ain't using baseball bats. They're using, right? Right? They're using different types of artillery nowadays. Sabes que? Mark McGuire doesn't play anymore. Plus, he was on steroids like Wes Watson. It just ain't happening no more. Let me tell you what's happening nowadays. Nowadays, you're going to go out there and you're going to alert attention, bring attention, because I see a lot of the comments of people saying, well, let me catch you, Holmes. We're going to get you. You know, and you think people are not looking at the background and seeing where you wiggle because you're going in a triangle, Holmes. Motherfuckers are going to catch you. You know, don't ask or go out there and seek for something you really don't want in life. You know, it's not cool to go out there, oh, look, these vatos are slipping. I see it all over the internet. They're not out here. They're not out here. Of course they're not out there. That's like fucking 6ix9ine when he went to O Block, homie, out there in Chicago. He went out there fucking 1 in the morning. Hurry up, hurry up. He was out there for 15.3 seconds. Then he jumped in the fucking van and wiggled with 16 security guards. Vatos are not really out there. It's all a portrayal for clout, man. I don't know what this guy's trying to prove. Hey, I'm out here looking for the adversary. Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? To the left, to the left. You know, I'm going down San Pablo. Where they at? You know what I mean? Come on now. Stop. before someone flattens your hat and bops your head backwards and you look like a Pez candy machine. It's gonna happen, man. It's part of gangbanging. It's the part of gangbanging I've never liked, that I never condoned, that I never associated with, or I never chose to do. If you was out there hunting, you didn't tell everyone. You didn't let everybody know. You didn't go on the internet, hey, we're out here, homie, where you at? Because when Vato said, okay, we're over here on East 14, what's happening, homes? Well, no, I'm on the other side of town. Hey, I can't make it, but maybe on Wednesday at about 8 in the morning, I can get there. Yeah, of course. It's just bullshit. And I'm not trying to go in on this guy because he's from the southern side, not the other side. I'm saying a fucking baboso, period. Doesn't matter what side he's from. To be doing that, man, makes his people look, bad. Now, of course, he's not the spokesman, or, you don't judge one book by its cover or think that he fucking amounts to anything when it comes to his people, because I met some gente that are cruising, that'll knock your socks off your toenails, straight up. But this guy ain't it. He's just a young kid, man, riding around with a fucking small little bat and chanklas on. And let me tell you, homies, you can't be on the street. Vatos were literally on the street with high socks and chanklas on, talking about, we're ready. So that's you go into prison like that, a level 4 yard with chanclas on, homes, they're going to fucking stick it up your ass sideways, and you're going to be on Candy Lane. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah! Like LA Night. These motherfuckers ain't playing. Anyways, with that being said, gente, wrong target. When you hit the wrong target, or you're out there searching, more than likely it's going to be accidental. You're never going to get the person that you're looking for, man. You're always going to, hit it. Oh, it's just a kid, just a casualty. What happens, eh? I can't help it. Yeah, you can help it. You can help it by getting a job and be out there and progressing in your life, educating yourself, man. Just because you're an active gang member, you're part of something, doesn't mean you necessarily have to be out there fucking cruising around with chanclas on, filas. So who wears filas? We haven't worn filas since like 92, right? You know what I mean? 19, that fashion. Anyways, idiot, man. The A was crooked on the filas. He got those at the gas station. Anyways, and then these other individuals from Fremont, man, it's a bad situation. Now families in mourning, their families lose their sons. It's never a good look, man, but it's part of life. It's part of gangbanging, I guess, it's just sad. Rest in peace to that young little girl, man, 5 years old, didn't even get to live her life or know what life is yet, and she died by a bullet. It's very frivolous, man, and that's why we have to pay attention to our gente and educate these youngsters, man. Like, if you're going to do what you do, man, do it. Do it to the fullest, I understand, but know what you're doing. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about, man, survival. It's all about going out there, man, and hustling for your gente and your people. That father had his daughter in the back seat of the car, man, his old lady. He was just trying to get somewhere, man. And these vatos, because they're on the run or they did some bad shit, decided he was the one that day. And he wasn't. His daughter was. It's very ugly. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle and strive for what I honestly and truly believe in, man. And that's the coming together of all people. When's he going to stop? Never. But, you know what I mean? It just is what it is. I can't even speak on it. Bang, bang.